Hey everyone, I am Ravichandra and welcome to this video on understanding REST APIs. Ever wondered how apps talk to each other and exchange data seamlessly? The magic behind this lies in REST APIs, and in this video, we will demystify their workings. Wait, what is the use case of REST API? Okay, let me explain an example in payments. The first step is user initiates payment. First of all, you open a payment app like PhonePe or Google Pay and you will enter the recipient's UPI ID or you'll scan their QR code. The app creates a payment request containing details like amount, payee information, and a unique transaction ID. The second step is app interacts with its server. The app sends the payment request to its server through a REST API call. This API call typically uses the POST method and sends the request data in, in JSON or another structured format. And third step in this process is server interacts with the NPCI. The app server connects to the National Payments Corporation of India NPCI through another REST API call. This call utilizes authentication mechanisms to ensure secure communication with NPCI. It forwards the payment request data received from the user's app. Now, NPCI validates and routes. Here, NPCI validates the request data like transaction ID, amount, payee validity, and it routes the request to the recipient's bank based on their UPI ID. Next, recipient's bank verifies and approves. Here, the recipient's bank receives the request and sends an authorization message to their mobile app. The recipient reviews the payment details and approves or rejects it through their app. Now, approval and settlement. If the request is approved, the recipient's bank sends a confirmation message to NPCI. Then, NPCI instructs the payer's bank to transfer the funds, and funds are debited from the payer's account and credited to the recipient's account instantly. And finally, notification and confirmation. Both the payer and recipient receive notifications from their respective apps confirming the successful transaction. The app's servers receive updates from NPCI and update their internal records. This is the normal schematic procedure for payments, and here the need for REST API is clearly observed. Yeah. Now come to our video REST API. A full form of REST API is representational state transfer. A REST API is an architectural style that defines a set of constraints for creating web services. Let us dive into the details. REST API is simple and standardized approach to communication. REST APIs are scalable and stateless. And by using REST API, we can achieve high performance in large part since they support caching. Okay, now some of the HTTP methods that we use in for REST API are get, put, post, delete, and so on. Get. This method is used to read a representation of a resource. It typically returns data in XML or JSON format. In case of error, it may return 404 or 400. And put. Put method is used for updating existing resources. It can also create a resource if the client specifies the resource ID. Put is not safe, but it is idempotent. And another method is post. Post method is primarily used to create new resources. It is often used for subordinate resources. And the last method that we are discussing in this video is delete. Delete method removes a resource. What is the use of this delete method? Delete method usage is it simply removes a resource. That's it. Now let us dive into the implementation part of one of the HTTP methods from this. I'll choose get method. Yeah, the main purpose of get method is it is used to retrieve information from the server. It is a read-only operation, meaning it should not change the state of the server. Get is safe and idempotent, meaning multiple identical requests such have the same effect as a single request. And coming to the uses of the get method is commonly used to fetch data like user information, posts, comments, etc. Now let us dive into the implementation part of this get method. Wait. Here we are using the JSON format to retrieve data. What is this JSON format? JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, and it is a popular data format widely used for exchanging information between systems and applications. This is a simple example of JSON. Here, first name is the key and John is the value. Last name is the key and DOE is the value. Here, each pair key and value is separated by comma, and this is the simple example for the JSON format. Okay, I think with this information, we can move on to the next topic, that is implementation part. Okay, let us now dive into the coding part. Yeah. Now let us dive into the implementation part of the get method. I am creating a new project for this implementation part. Yeah. The interface is very simple. Here we have main.rs file and cargo lock, cargo.toml, and here we should add the dependencies for our required project. Now I am going to add the dependencies. First of all, we are implementing this REST API by using the exam crate. So let us add the exam crate in these dependencies. For deserializing and serializing, for all the stuff, I am importing the shared crate here. Now, in this project, I want to implement an asynchronous runtime. So for this, I'm including a crate called Tokyo. It is a famous crate for the implementation of asynchronous runtime in Rust. Tokyo. Okay, the required dependencies for now are updated in this cargo.toml file. Now let us create two new files, namely handlers and sensors, along with this main.rs file. Let us create a structure for a sensor in which we'll be adding fields with names called ID, name, location, and data. Okay, let us define a structure for our requirement. Here I'm declaring type of the ID as U32, and the second requirement is I have to provide a name for the sensor, so obviously string. And next one, location of the sensor, it's also string, and finally the data that we are expecting from the sensor, it is also in a string. Yeah, this part is completed. Now let us come to the handlers part. Now let us add the required stuff in this handlers module. Yeah. Okay, let us create a asynchronous function for storing the sensor's data. Now with this, the handler module is ready. Now let us add one more module called lib.rs so that we can be able to use this handler and sensor code stuff in the main.rs module. Now let us complete the main module. Now by using exam create, import HTTP request and get methods. Yeah. Now it is a main function that follows asynchronous runtime. Now let us build the remaining code. Okay, the coding part is completed. Here in these handlers, we have provided the information regarding sensors and their names, ID numbers, location, and data of the sensor. Everything is handled in this handlers module. In the sensors module, we have defined structure so that we can be able to store fields like ID, name, location, and data of the sensor. Now, in the lib module, we're importing handlers and sensors. Now, coding part is completed. Let us execute this. Yeah. By using the Postman, I'll create a new HTTP request. Yeah. Here, the data that is given in the handlers module is fetched by using the get method. Coming to the advantages of REST API, it is known for simplicity and interoperability and scalability and high performance, flexibility and maintainability, security. These are the main advantages of REST API. Since we all know that a coin has two faces, there are some disadvantages of this REST API. That is, potential performance overhead, overuse and complexity, testing complexity. These are the disadvantages of using REST API. Now, conclusion. Ultimately, the disadvantages of REST API are not deal breakers, but they are important to be aware of when deciding if it is the right choice for a requirement. Okay, with this, we end this part here and see you in the next video. If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe to our channel Rust Planet. Until then, keep in touch with Rust and have a good day. Bye bye.